Live football, Notts County Bournemouth at 7:30, Sky Sports HD1. Tomorrow, live Champions League, Chelsea Inter at 7, Sky Sports HD2. And Sevilla CSKA Moscow, 7:30, Sky Sports HD3.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Pull those belts tight. The 2010 IndyCar Series starts here.
Dario does the move of the century.
Look at them dice and slice.
He goes, oh, it's in trouble. Oh, we've got a crash.
Oh, they stuff each other.
Oh, man.
This year sees more British drivers than ever before. Led by defending champion Dario Franchitti, can the Scotsman rule the roost once again in what promises to be IndyCar's most competitive season yet? The bustling Brazilian city of Sao Paulo plays host to the season opener. It's the first time IndyCar has been to Brazil, and the passionate home fans will have no fewer than 7 drivers to go mad for. The new season is underway. Welcome to highlights of the Sao Paulo Indy 300 from the streets of Sao Paulo in Brazil. After one of the coldest British winters for years, we hope we can warm you up with some dramatic IndyCar racing here on Sky Sports. Over the next 8 months, we'll bring you all 17 races, and tonight we preview the new year before highlights of the season opener from Brazil. With me in the studio is racing driver Johnny Molam, who I'm sure will have plenty to say later. But first, we should hear from last season's champion Dario Franchitti, who I caught up with at the pre-season test at Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama a couple of weeks ago.
It's been quite a long off-season, isn't it? And I've done more testing than most. I did some Firestone work at Homestead at the start of the year. I mean, right at the start of the year, 2nd or 3rd of January, I was in the car. But it feels like a long time since I drove the car for the last time.
Do you feel rusty? I mean, is it a situation where you wonder whether you can drive as fast again?
Yeah, I do feel rusty, actually. At the end of the season, I kept thinking, oh my God, I could keep going here. This is great. Everything's in the groove. Everything's going well. Let's keep going.
How did that feel to be able to pinch that last round with all that pressure and that fantastic call that was made by either you or the team?
It wasn't all about the last race. It was about what we'd done all season. That was one race of 17 or whatever. So we were very much the attitude. We'd go in, we'd do our best, and we'd see what happened. We'd won a load of races that year. We'd had a couple snatched from us. We had some pretty bad luck in others. We had some good luck in some as well. But what happened at Homestead was just a small kind of snapshot of the whole season, and only a small part of it. But it was definitely nice to go home with a trophy, I can tell you that.
When we spoke some time ago, motivation, retirement, all these things we covered. You went off to play in stock cars for a while, came back. In your wildest dreams, did you imagine that you were going to be able to achieve that?
I hoped, but that was about it. I wasn't sure how realistic it was going to be. I mean, you look back here and you look at the Target team, and they're the best team in the business. So I knew the equipment was going to be good. It was just like, okay, you've had a year away. Can you perform where you need to perform? And yeah, when we did, and that was really, it was a good feeling. What can I say? That was a great feeling. So we've now got to do it again, though. It's all in the past, and the boys are all happy, and we had a good off season, and we celebrated. But it's all about the new season now.
Scott is your teammate, and you get on very well. But does he actually hate you?
He's never told me that. No, we're competitive. We really are, and we fight pretty hard at times. But we have the kind of relationship afterwards. It's kind of the similar relationship I had with Tony. After one of us beats the other, it's like, oh, good job. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to say it on TV, but I'll get you next week, and that's the relationship we've got. So and it works very well because we push each other hard. We always want to be the quickest of the team, and we want to win races and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we've got a good relationship, and as I say, it's worked very well.
Sao Paulo, you know a bit about that place. Tell us a bit.
Yeah, I raced at Interlagos back in '96 in the ITC car. Seems a long time ago now. It is a long time ago, But going there for the street course, we've all looked at the maps and the satellite images of the track and all that stuff, but until we get there we won't really get a feel for it. But it's Brazil. The fans are mad. They love it. A lot of Brazilian drivers in the series, so looking forward to it.
I get the feeling you really are as well looking forward to things this year. You've got a big smile on your face, you seem very relaxed. Job in hand.
We'll soon find out, won't we?
He knows plenty about Sao Paulo, but nobody knows anything about this racetrack, Johnny. Let's just talk about Dario for a second or two, because he obviously left IndyCar as a champion, went to NASCAR for a moment or two, got a broken ankle and tail between his legs, got given another job back into IndyCar, comes back and pips his teammate again to take the series.
I mean, it's absolutely fantastic what he did last year, and as a driver myself, I can tell you when your confidence has taken the kind of kicking that his did in NASCAR, let's be honest about it, it did not go the way he planned at all. I know I was actually in Detroit at the time when he came back and met up with Chip, and they inked their deal for IRL for 2009, and I think he had a real point to prove to himself as much as anyone else that he could come back into this, and he wasn't a has-been.
Well, this year is likely to be tougher than last year, perhaps. Let's take a look then how they ended up in 2009, just to remind ourselves. Dario Franchitti then takes the win from Scott Dixon at that last round, but Ryan Briscoe, coming of age maybe for last year, we'll talk about him in a moment or two. Elio Castroneves still looking to win the series. Danica Patrick finished 5th last year, and she's taken a bit of a foray into stock cars as well this year. Will that damage her? Tony Kanaan, Graham Rahal, Marco Andretti, Justin Wilson and Dan Weldon, the two Brits, 9th and 10th. Let's then consider that man, the New Zealander Scott Dixon. He really has been a fantastic driver over the past, and of course Ganassi is one of the top 2 teams. He must be, I alluded to it in the conversation with Franchitti about whether he hates him.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Dixon is a fantastic driver, there's no doubt about it. I think sometimes you find that with Dario and Scott, because they get on so well and they do genuinely gel as teammates, that really helps them drive forward, because they're not busy fighting each other. They want to beat each other and they'll fight on the track, but I think off the track they work very well, so that really helps that team move forward.
Well, the man who finished 3rd last year and really did shine through was Ryan Briscoe, of course, and he might well be looking to go a couple of places higher this year, and he's got the talent to do it, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's obviously, I think, for me personally, really came of age last year, and before then you could always think maybe he's leading a race, but there's a chance he's going to clip a barrier or a little error will creep in with a big consequence. Last year, for me, out and out, really led that team. Obviously, Elio missed the first race with all the issues that he had, but for me, Ryan really came of age, and I think this year he'll be very tough to beat.
Well, they're the people we know about. KV Racing Technology arguably made the transfer of the new season when signing former Formula 1 driver Takuma Sato to drive their number 5. The 33-year-old from Tokyo is looking forward to the challenge, despite admitting that the desire to get back into Formula 1 had dominated his last 2 years.
I mean, there is no secret that, I was aiming at F1 all the time when I started racing, and that's why we were there in Europe. But, I stick in F1 world in last 2 seasons trying to find a way to back in the seat, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And as a racing driver, not doing nearly 2 seasons is just about limit to me, and I have to move on. And in a way, in the future plan, we never know, what is happening. But at least I've got a great opportunity from the KV Racing, and it's such a great team, like Jimmy Brasser is such a champion in the, Champ Car days and the IndyCar Series days, and I think this team has got really good potential, and I'm very happy. It's just so happy to back in the car. The racing is so exciting moment for me. I mean, one of the IndyCar series is so successful is obviously everybody has got a very same equipment, or of course individually the team has got some advantage of it, but end of the day it's the same hardware, which is it gives the chance to be able to fight in top field for everybody, which is is very nice from driver's point of view. And plus KV Racing has got a good reputation, has a good potential to fight in top field, which is such a great thing. And to me, the car is different from where I used to get in Europe, but everything is the same. It's open wheel, okay, it's a big engine and just tires working out, and that sort of process is the same as F1. So I'm not too worried about it, but of course I need to merge as quick as possible, then get most out of it.
Well, you might be pleased to know really that IndyCar at this particular point is probably the most competitive it's ever been. It's going to be probably the hardest season for anybody in IndyCar racing this year. So you've come at the top of the IndyCar game at the moment, and you've got a few people that are thinking about you already. So congratulations to you already for that.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's pleased. You know, I missed the competition last season. Something I missed also fighting in the top group as well. That I believe, you know, I'd like to get myself ready as soon as possible to compete with other drivers who I really respect these guys, because you know, sometimes being in Europe, it's just sometimes little information about IndyCar series, but here they are really competitive, of course, and they're going to the oval, which is completely new to me, which is something I have to learn so many things, but particularly for the road course and street course, I shouldn't be a big problem for it. It's just so exciting to competing in big names in the IndyCar series, which is somewhat really pleasure of it.
Great guy to meet as well, and a big motorcycle fan. I didn't realise he was neighbours to Tetsuya Harada, the former 250 world champion, believe it or not. He wanted to talk to me more about bikes than he did cars, but genuinely seems to have...
Some things never change.
Some things never change, you're right. But he just seems so happy to be in the IndyCar paddock.
I think he's just happy to be racing, to be honest. I mean, he had a pretty rough time in Formula 1 at the end there, and really, as he said himself, alluded to, really desperate to get back into F1. I think he's going to be a bit of a dark horse, especially... He says he hasn't done ovals, and fair enough, he's very, very light. He's extremely courageous as a driver. He's renowned for being brave, but obviously quite nice for him to start on a street course, first of all. He's qualified in the top 10, and I think this year he's going to have a few really good results. He's an excellent driver. Interesting
link as well to Lotus that's now appeared in the press this week as well. So you can clearly see that's where he wants to go back to, perhaps, and maybe that's a tie-up that's going to benefit him through IndyCar. Yes, you never know. I mean, Takuma seems to be able to politically ally himself very well in certain situations. It's in this crazy politically correct world that we live in, it's kind of strange for me that Dallara Honda has Lotus Cosworth badging, but obviously with Kevin Kalkoven being a part of the co-owner of the engine builder Cosworth, then you can see the link, and I think they're maybe even trying to go into a link up with Lotus for Formula 1 as well. I don't know what Johnny would make of BMW, Sauber, Ferrari as there are in Formula 1, but we won't even go there as far as that's concerned. Let's take a look then at drivers and teams for this year. 2010, it's a tough year. Vida Mira, AJ Voigt Enterprises, Andretti Autosport have got Danica, Tony Kanaan, Marco Andretti, Ryan Hunter-Ray. 4 teams for Michael Andretti, Conquest Racing and Mario Romani. Dale Coyne, late signing for Alex Lloyd. He comes in as a rookie alongside Milka Duno for this weekend. Dreyer and Reinbold, we know about them. Justin Wilson, Anna Beatrice and Mike Conway, so 2 Brits. And of course a rookie Brazilian lady that's in there. Fast race team is Alex Tagliani. More about him in a minute. Simona Di Silvestro. Johnny has been installing the virtues of that young lady in HVM Racing. KV Racing. EJ Vizo we know about. Takuma Sato, we just met him. Mario Moraes. Rafael Matos and Davey Hamilton and De Ferran Luxo Dragon Racing. Gilles De Ferran, of course, famous in IndyCar, has joined up with Luxo Dragon, and they formed those 2 men in there. Newman Haas Lanigan Racing, Hideki Muto, Panther Racing. Dan Weldon, 2005 champ, is the only man for them. Sarah Fisher, well, she's got Jay Howard, another Brit, along with Graham Rahal. We'll be seeing a bit about them later on, and Sarah Fisher will drive now and again. And we've left the top 2 till last, of course. Scott Dixon, Dario Franchitti, Inganassi, Penske, Castroneves, Briscoe and Power. That's how it looks. So plenty of homegrown talent to watch out for this year, and second season driver Mike Conway is definitely looking forward to working with his new teammate Justin Wilson.
It's great to have Justin on board. Obviously got vast experience in America, so it's great to have him here, and you know, we're going to be working hard over the next 2 days to make sure we really optimise everything we have, and yeah, can't wait to start the season.
We're going to start the season off with some street courses. I feel we've got a good chance of getting podiums, if not race victories between us. So, you know, it's just a lot of hard work between now and then to make sure we have a good car.
You know, we had some good results, but in saying that, we did have some sort of a tough few races as well. So we just want to make sure we have a good, consistent year, build on what we learned last year, and really get some good results. You know, we had some good speed and lots of places, so we just need to continue that. And Justin said, get many more podiums and hopefully some wins. The pressure's never off, really. You know, you've always got to push and strive to get good results.
I like to race hard, a fair bit hard. You know, is what I expect of other people. That's how I try and portray myself. And you know, I want to win races, so I'll do what it takes. And I think we have the capability. It's just a realisation now for that to come through.
Dreyer and Reinbold then, 2 Brits in there. Johnny, very quickly, that team, can they come up to the mark?
I believe so, yes. I think you've got 2 very, very strong street races. In particular, Justin Wilson, extremely experienced, qualified 3rd today. I think this year, especially on the street courses and road courses, he'll be very, very strong. Hopefully the ovals as well.
But the conditions, of course, are just terrible down at the new track. Has obviously had that diamond cutting that's gone on. Very difficult conditions for the first round of the year, and I don't know whether cars and teams have set up in readiness for this kind of condition.
It's tough, especially when your season opener is somewhere you've not been before, so you're not really sure what you're being well prepared for it. Street courses in particular are always very, very low grip, but it's dealing with the bumps, setting a car up for the bumps, and also making sure that the car's not going to snap sideways on you hitting a bump. You clip a wall, your race is over. So it's going to be really, really tough. Obviously with the weather thrown in as well, potentially down there in Brazil, it can certainly rain hard on occasion. I think it's going to make for a very difficult race for the drivers.
Well, after the organisers actually got that diamond cutting machine out there, they were something like 2 or 3 seconds a lap quicker come Sunday morning.
Absolutely, and I mean it's not just because of the bumps as well. You're just getting the grip level there. I mean, if you're running on complete concrete and it's just smooth, then you're actually going to end up with 0 grip, and you can wheel spin in almost any gear.
Helio Castroneves won 2 races last season, including a 3rd success in the Indianapolis 500, but his biggest victory of the year was when, after 7 long weeks in court, he was acquitted of tax evasion. The US Dancing with the Stars champion's popularity has never been higher, and now he's racing in front of a passionate home crowd and can't wait for the season to start.
Being back again with no rush of just being a race car, being able to just get in, start practicing like everybody else. Certainly it's a great lift on the shoulder. So right now we're just going to continue working really hard. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but certainly I'm going to enjoy much more this year.
I don't know whether you're aware of just how your emotions caught the imagination of most of the UK motorsport fan, purely and simply because they could see what you were going through. Where do you get your strength from? Where did your inner strength come from?
When you have a very strong base, which I call my family, certainly the ups and downs, they're going to be there to help you out. But obviously, it's a different power, let's put it this way. I'm a Catholic person, and I do believe in faith. And when you do believe it, you can do something that sometimes you don't imagine it's going to happen. But and that's for me basically my lesson, And with the family around, sometimes we're so used to have them around, and we never say thank you or appreciate or even I love you. After what I've been through, definitely I appreciate much more because when the things hit the fan, they are there for you. They want the best for you.
I wonder if the rest of this paddock realises what a weapon you are in 2010.
I hope so, and but you know what? It's great to be in a different environment. As I say, starting all over again. I feel refreshed. I feel young. I feel pumped. It's difficult to describe, but it's like a kid on a candy store. Because I have a different perspective. I enjoy very much. I realized after my situation that I love racing. Now we have another driver in the team, so we get 3 cars. So we have 3 times as fun this year in 2010.
It's been a long time since there's been 3 cars in the Penske team, and talking about youngsters, you've got 2 of them chasing you.
Man, I can't believe I'm the veteran now. It's unbelievable how time flies, but it's great. I see the best thing for me having 2 young guys, strong drivers, fast drivers, because they're going to make me better. They're going to continue to push me to find limits that every year you discover a little bit more. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to learn again more this year. Can't wait to start.
Well, he might be a veteran, but he's a fast veteran, but he's still yet to win the IndyCar Championship.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me, is he going to win it this year? It's a difficult one. I mean, you have to say that the champion is almost certainly going to come from Penske or Ganassi. So obviously there's 5 drivers, and he's one of those 5. Ryan Briscoe really had his number last year, even though he missed the first race. Even if he'd won that first race, he still wouldn't have won the championship last year. It'd be interesting to see who gets the upper hand between him, Will Power and Ryan Briscoe in the first 2 or 3 races, and I think that will then really move it forward to have a real tilt at the title. But he stands a good chance.
Mouth-watering, I think, is the prospect. So now you're up to speed with some of the stories ahead of the new season. We move on to the disaster of qualifying After the track threw up more than the usual difficulties, Saturday's session was cancelled and rerun Sunday morning. And if you're in any doubt as to how slippery the concrete along the front straight was, just ask Ryan Briscoe. This was a fifth gear wheel spin that the young Aussie just couldn't hold on to. But the organisers had a major plan to work through the night and diamond cut the offending areas of track. Sunday morning was hastily rearranged for final qualifying. Ryan Hunter-Reay was out to prove that nothing was going to stop him on a street course. He ended up fourth on the grid just behind Justin Wilson. And Alex Tagliani did a great job too as he bounced his way to a surprise front row race start. But it was reigning champ Dario Franchitti who managed his car set up to perfection, and pole position seemed to quell his concerns about the track.
You were pretty outspoken about the condition of this racetrack. Now how about it?
Absolutely, but a lot of work went into it last night from the organisers, and got to take my hat off to Brian Barnhart because he had some pretty big attachments to cancel qualifying, make the call that he did to cancel qualifying, and they spent all night fixing that thing. I think the two-seater was out at 5 o'clock this morning fixing the track. So I really think I've got to take my hat off to them. But for us, the target car was struggling yesterday, and Dixie was just flying. So we sat and we worked it out, and everybody.
You're not telling me you stole his setup for this qualifying, did you?
No, actually I didn't. We went completely the other way because what Scott likes, I generally don't like. So we went the other way, and it really worked. Although I did steal his technique at turn 10 there, so I've got to thank him for that.
So reigning IndyCar champion Dario Franchitti will take pole position. Alongside him, a big surprise in Canadian Alex Tagliani. Justin Wilson makes it 2 Brits in the first 3. Ryan Hunter-Reay joins him on the second row. Row 3 sees Aussie Will Power start alongside the highest qualified Brazilian driver Tony Kanaan. Antipodean teammate Scott Dixon and Ryan Briscoe are on row 4. IRL rookie Takuma Sato is 1 row behind with another of the 7 Brazilian drivers, Helio Castroneves. The highest placed female driver is Simona Di Silvestro, appearing in her first IndyCar race, and she's 1 row ahead of Danica Patrick, starting her 6th season. On row 8, British rookie Alex Lloyd is a late starter for Dale Coyne. He's alongside Vita Mira, but in front of EJ Vizo and Britain's 2005 champ Dan Weldon. They're back on row 9. Despite some cracking times in practice, Bromley boy Mike Conway is on row 10 with Brazilian Mario Ramoncini. Marco Andretti struggled to row 11 with another talented female rookie, Ana Beatriz. Bringing up the rear, it's an all-South American affair with Brazilian Mario Moraes and our 4th female driver, Venezuelan Milka Duno. Coming up after the break, highlights from the streets of Sao Paulo where Dario Franchitti kicks off the defence of his title. He's undoubtedly fast, but what does the competition make of the Flying Scotsman?
Dario Franchitti he's fast, he's very consistent, he's a tough man to beat on the track. He's a nice guy off the track, and he'll be once again very tough to beat this year.
Well, Dario, I've got to say is my best mate, the greatest guy on earth. He's my teammate. I've got to be nice, and I'm going to put a little plug in there so when he sees this, he's going to be like, man, Dixon's a nice guy. I'm really going to look out for him this year. But he tends to whine a lot. He whines a lot.
Dario is a princess.
Well, Dario Franchitti, the old man I used to look up to as a little kid, he's still out there doing well, but hopefully we can keep him behind us this year.
For us, it's great to have Dario in the series. For me, especially because I know I'm racing against the best, and he's certainly one of them.
Time now for the first action of the 2010 IndyCar season, and we can join our commentators Bob Jenkins, John Beekhouse and Robbie Buell for the Sao Paulo Indy 300.
And the cars now begin to line up side by side. We have 6 onboard cameras that will complement our coverage here this afternoon. There's Dan Weldon in the National Guard car starting in the 9th row.
No moisture, isn't that great to see?
Yeah. Here's Helio Castroneves. He'll be starting in the 5th row, 9th position. Tony Kanaan will carry an onboard camera. He starts from row number 3.
And we're getting a really good shot at that long back straightaway here as you go to turn 11. It goes on and on.
Here's Ryan Hunter-Reay for Andretti Autosport starting in the 2nd row. And a strong field of cars. We wish the drivers bon sortie good luck as the Apex green flag waves and the Eyes on IndyCar Series begins the 2010 campaign. Down into the first chicane. Dario Franchitti will have the advantage as they go there, and a mess here in the back.
Dixon gets spun around.
Oh, one in the air.
Wow.
That's Mario Moraes in the air.
And he's over Marco Andretti.
Wow.
Well, we knew they were funneling down into a first gear left-right complex, but boy, did it shake it up.
Briscoe's wing just flew off.
Yeah, and we're seeing more debris scattered throughout the racetrack.
And look at everybody trying to dodge all the little carbon bits that come off that wing.
Well, not a very good start for the series. Marco Andretti is the car that is under the 32 car of Mario Moraes. As the field comes through turn number 6 now.
It looked to me like one of the KV cars, Sato, was one of the first to make contact with a car ahead. Now, it was a bit of a freight train effect, but certainly Mario Moraes and Marco Andretti, that came from way in the back.
Yeah, so that happened under braking.
The first look, the first few rows get through fine, and then just look to the left of the screen, I believe, watch the KV car. There it is, Sato, sure enough, just came in, and that started the mid-pack pileup, but then later, kind of the chain reaction, that is Moraes catching wheels with Marco Andretti and going right over.
And it looked like Marco was just trying to get out of the incident as well as Moraes going by. And it looked like, yeah, there's
spectacular footage.
Yeah, so Moraes lost it on the brakes going in.
And I think that's the same thing that set off Sato. When you pointed out Sato there, he was hard under the brakes, and the rear just came around. Watch that. There he is with the orange nose under braking. So he just has a little bit of rear bias, and that spun the car out.
And again, in too quick for the freight train, that is. That's like being on the highway and something happens when you have 2 lanes going to one. Everybody checks up, and that happened at the back.
And that's Marco saw it all happening, but Moraes was back behind him and just came in with some speed. It was like, oh, I can't slow it down.
Castronetta, and that was Sato coming in.
Oh, and Elio had contact.
No place to go.
Dixon, yeah.
But Moraes, as he came in and joined that, like you say, Marco saw what was going on, probably was slowing up because he noticed it. Moraes was further back, didn't really see it, came in with some more speed, and as he was trying to get all over the brakes to slow down, just went over the top in a pretty spectacular fashion of Marco Andretti.
Now that section of the track that has been ground overnight has some debris that kicks up, and Jack Arute. Jack, watch the situation down there.
Fellas, let me update you. Marco Andretti has radioed to his crew that he is okay, but the severity of that accident knocked part of the radio communications out. He cannot hear his team, but who cares? We just wanted to hear from Marco.
Yeah, exactly. All right, getting set for the restart now. Still on the backstretch. They will come down to the hairpin, turn number 11, and then stand on it.
And like we say, nobody really knows what the other guy has. We talked about downforce level being part of this package. Who's got more downforce? Who's got little downforce? We don't know because we haven't gotten in the rhythm here to see what guys have at the end of these long straightaways because of our first, didn't really get through that first turn with the first lap, did we?
So what do you think, guys? Since they're in single file formation, are we going to see everybody make it through 1, 2, 3, and 4 successfully this time?
Unlikely.
Well, you got guys further back.
Nice.
This is the time to take advantage of opportunity.
Here we go. Off of turn number 11. And the Apex Brazil restart happens, and we are back to racing. Everybody down that front stretch with a little bit of dust still being kicked up. Here they come through that section that we had the problem in, turns 1 and 2.
Danica was kind of protecting the inside there a little bit. Not that anybody was challenging her, but she just took that even choice away from anybody.
There's 3 and 4, and everybody appears to be okay. So down one of the long straightaways, we'll call this the front stretch here, as the drivers get on the accelerator hard for the first time. And look how bumpy it is. Jack Arute is standing by with Marco Andretti involved in that scary-looking crash on the first lap. Jack?
And a heck of a way to start the 2010 Eyes Out IndyCar campaign. But from your perspective, do you have any idea what happened?
Yeah, we got hit from behind. I mean, normally when you can't see a foot in front of you, something inside your brain should tell you to lift. But I don't know, just a big disappointment for the Venom guys. But I guess we can't expect much more. When we start in the back, we caught a penalty in qualifying, unfortunately, because Matos and I got together. But it's amazing that it just slipped away that easily, because it looks like the Andretti Autosport cars are beginning to get some pace. So now we just pull for them.
How tough was it to be in the cockpit for as long as you were while they peeled that other car off of you?
Yeah, well, I needed a minute to get my bearings anyway. I mean, hit my head pretty hard, but fortunately we're all right.
Thanks, Marco.
Thank you,
guys. Yeah, thanks for talking with us, Marco. Good to see that you are okay.
He was really relatively calm about what had transpired there, wasn't he?
All right, first is Franchitti, second is Tagliani, then comes Ryan Hunter-Reay, TK, Rafael Matos running in 5th position, on board with Tony Kanaan.
The suspension move on that right front, it just gives you an idea of all the bumps and undulations that are there in that pit straightaway.
Now, of course, he's following Ryan Hunter-Reay. We just heard from Marco Andretti talk about, now I've got to pull for Andretti Autosport. Well, making your debut, Ryan Hunter-Reay is leading, at least at the moment, ahead of Tony Kanaan, which is known as being essentially the team leader. So fantastic debut for Ryan Hunter-Reay in this race in the Izod car.
And Hunter-Reay, it looks as though when we just watch a little bit of his shots, he's got really good entry speed, the way he's rolling into the corner. So he really comes up on the back of Alex Tagliani, under braking and rolling into those corners. So he's going to keep trying to fill his mirrors to get by him.
Justin Wilson has dropped back to 16th position. He pitted during the caution, trying to work his way back up. There he is in the Z-Line car. He brought the Z-Line sponsorship with him to Brian Reinbold Racing, or it came as a separate entity. But that's the same sponsor he had last year with Dale Coyne Racing. There is Tony Kanaan running 4th, about 2 1/3 seconds behind the leader, Franchitti.
And we really don't know why Wilson had a pit. We thought he was through that start there, and I think Jack has some more for us. Jack, what can you tell us?
Jack is a long way away. There's Danica Patrick running back in 10th position. She's about 9 1/3 seconds behind, and right behind her is the Dad's Root Beer car being driven by Mike Conway,
who we knew was showing some speed earlier and had made it into that top 12, but unfortunately he brought out a full course yellow, and they say, sorry, we're going to take those 2 fastest laps away.
All right, we'll try it with Jack once again. What's the story on Justin Wilson, Jack?
You know, it's a good thing that we have Verizon as an IndyCar sponsor. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you about Justin Wilson. Remember, we talked about it yesterday. We said it, over 6 foot tall. He bangs his knees all the time. Well, I had breakfast with Justin this morning, and he said, it's amazing, Jack. My knees are bruised, but it showed me his elbows. And he said, the long back straightaway is so long and so bumpy. He said, my elbows look worse than my knees. How about that? He's getting banged around like he's playing under the boards in the NBA.
And we saw a classic pass into turn number 11 in the braking zone as Scott Dixon weaves his way through the field.
And that was Simona De Silvestro, who's had really a great weekend. She's been quick in a lot of the sessions and has been doing a great job as a debut.
Very impressive. Scott Dixon 13th, and Simona De Silvestro is running in 14th position. Scott Dixon got the position at the end of the long back straightaway, headed into turn number 11. Franchitti, Tagliani, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Tony Kanaan, and Dan Weldon. And Dan Weldon tops the list. Those drivers who have made the biggest move. Started 18th, up to 5th. Mike Conway has got 9. And finally, Ryan Hunter-Reay gets second position from Alex Tagliani. He worked on that for several laps and finally got the job done.
But he showed some great patience in doing it. So now he should probably stretch that out, especially as getting into the twisty section now.
So Tagliani, Jack, will drop back to 3rd position ahead of TK.
And Bob, what's happening is they go down in the low to 22 gallons of fuel. Tagliani is reporting to Rob Edwards. The car is starting to go just a little bit loose. Figure the Tags and the rest of the front runners should be coming into the pits in probably 10 to 11 more laps. So Tags figured it was smarter to let it get by rather than try and do a tussle with Ryan Hunter-Reay at this point.
And another point is, as we heard, Tags' car is just getting a little bit loose. So that means he's just kind of struggling to put the power down. But just make note, he started this race on the alternate Firestone tires, the reds, the ones that are a little softer, a little bit more grip. Now TK, the guy racing him right now, Tony Kanaan has done an excellent job of staying with this lead pack, being on the primary black tires, which usually maybe aren't as fast. But they probably have a little longer shelf life than the reds, just because they're a harder compound, and they're designed to be that way. That's part of the give and take of the red Firestones versus the blacks.
Here he comes.
And he'll make the pass to the inside, locks him up. No, he's not going to be able to do it.
He was being optimistic, wasn't he? but sometimes that optimism can take you out of the race. He did a good job of getting back behind him, and he'll keep pressuring him.
From Justin Wilson's onboard camera, it's like we have a banner that has come off of the side of the wall, and
the car ahead of him, which shown previous lap was Will Power, looked like it might have rubbed the barrier, just peeled a little bit of that off and just went right up over the camera.
As long as it took the camera and didn't get over his face, that would be the problem.
Now remember, there is, again this season, there is the overtake button. And it has been somewhat improved. Last year it was about 5 horsepower. They've made some changes. They've taken away the fuel trim on the steering wheel, so now it's 9 to 10 horsepower. So when you're dragging down that long 9/10 of a mile straightaway, overtake assist, as we call it, is still in play. You get 22 seconds for each of those presses.
And Scott Dixon and Ryan Briscoe have used that button most here in the first few laps of the race.
But a follow-up to that, let's keep in mind, when you look at the pushes available, they're available, you get 22 seconds, but for a road course, they're maybe not as impactful as an oval. It's still a good tool, but not as impactful as when we go super speedway racing.
And Jack, they can't adjust the fuel from the bit, so they do have the overtake button.
And it's become very valuable for everybody. But guys, I've been really taking a look at what's been going on so far with those guys that pitted after the first full course yellow. And I defer to Jan here because he is the professor. But it's my opinion that right now you got to like Justin Wilson, Ryan Briscoe, as far as what they're doing. Because if they get a big chunk of yellow, they might be able to do this sucker in one more stop. Now, I'm looking at it, Jan, and I'm saying these guys could go far. It could go just about to lap 68 or 70. It's going to be kind of interesting. And you see, they're starting to carve their way up through the field already.
Yes, Jack. Jack, I think it would take, you said a heap of yellow. It would take quite a bit at this point. The gamble that they played about coming in and making sure they didn't get cut tires is a good example of Justin Wilson and that disarrayed wing there for Castro Neves. But at the moment, everybody is on a two-stop strategy, but now we go full course caution, so we'll have to see.
That is
wave those yellows up there, and as they come into this 3-4 section, wave those yellows because she's right in the line.
I will say that when the pits are closed now, that when they do open the pits, I think most everyone will pit. Here's the Justin Wilson move.
Justin Wilson and Elio both got to the inside of Hideki Muto to pass him in turn number 11. Now the pits are open, but remember now, the entrance to the pits is beyond those first 4 corners after the start-finish line.
And you have the start-finish line, which is the concrete section, which is the front straightaway.
Yep.
But like you said, you have those corners, and then you have that long pit straightaway that's in front of the pits. So it's kind of a unique sequence of where the start-finish line is at this racetrack relative to pit road.
Right.
It'll be very interesting to see how many peel off.
I'm peeling off.
I fully expect the majority of this front group will all pull off. When you get down to 8th, 9th, 10th, then you wonder.
So you're saying Dixon and Wilson and Briscoe. You know what? Briscoe's going to stay out.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they also could go for the quick pit stop. We'll see.
Cars move through turns 1 and 2. Now a little bit of straightaway down to 3 and 4. And then after they come out of 3 and 4, you will see them dart sharply into pit lane.
And this is the pit window. We are in a real pit window for this first stop.
Yeah.
We're in the front end of it, but we're in it.
Okay, there's the entrance to pit lane.
They're all coming in.
Yep.
Anybody staying out?
That looks like part of the race circuit. That's pit road. Okay, there is
Tagliani. He's a new team, so he's not going to have the same pit selection. Mike Conway.
Wilson.
Jack, down to you for the pit stops.
As the pit stops continue to take place, one of the things you were talking about, how fast they are on pit road. Remember that they're able to go as they go to the tires and they are finished their work on Ryan Briscoe. They're able to go open until they get under the bridge. The pit speed limit does not start on pit road, guys, until you exit the tunnel that is the bridge overtake. So they've got room to make hay, even though they've committed to the pits. But by the way, Jan and guys, I kind of like the call that some of the others made by staying out.
Like Simona De Silvestro, who now takes the lead. There weren't many. Who else? Is she the only one?
I think so.
Yep.
Yes, here comes Dario.
Well, she's going to lead her first IZOD
Good for her.
Series race.
I got to tell you, Bob, I'm starting to feel like the hippy-dippy weatherman here. Remember George Carlin? Take a look at all these red cells. Now, again, this is Sao Paulo. This has been coming in at a pretty rapid rate, and I want to show you the thunderclouds are already developing up over where the Sambadrome is, where the start-finish line is, and all these pit crews have seen it. Thus far, thank God, have not seen any lightning.
And I also have an update when we were at that break. Simona De Silvestro actually pitted on lap 20. So she is back on the same sequence. She doesn't have to pit in a few laps. She can go all the way to the next window like everyone else. So she's actually leading this as a true leader because of clever pit work. And look at this race off of pit road.
Yeah, Kanan gains a position. Tagliani loses one. Briscoe, the big gainer, along with Will Power. So Simona De Silvestro, in her very first race, leads. Can you tell me who was the most recent driver to lead in his very first IZOD IndyCar Series event? You don't have to go back that far. Like 2 years.
Ray Hall?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And before that, Patrick Carpentier. Simona De Silvestro, you survived your first test.
I was about to push the button on that. You know, you didn't push your button. You just yelled out, "Play by the rules, man."
By the way, we talked with Graham. For those of you who did not see our qualifying show yesterday, we talked with Graham by phone, and he confirms that he will be in the Sarah Fisher car 2 races prior to Indianapolis, and hopefully we'll have something full-time by that time. It was good to talk to Graham yesterday and know that he's got something in the works.
And pretty confident. He's been very happy with what he's seen over at Sarah Fisher Racing. I mean, he was excited about the opportunity. He's going to do some testing with them prior to showing up in St. Pete, which is really important to get that chemistry going with that new team.
So now you're doing your first race. You look in the mirror. You got Dario Franchitti behind you,
right.
as well as everyone else. You like getting the radio call. Okay. You're going to take the green. You got Dario behind you. I mean, you go, wow, am I dreaming?
I was in Sebring when Simona was doing her first test, or her first time in the IndyCar, and you could just tell when you went around and watched the corners that she was driving the car. The car wasn't driving her. You know, she was putting the car on the racetrack where she wanted to put it, in the proper point braking, going in, turning in, apex, track out. So she's holding that end of it up. Great job.
And Elio on pit lane once again. See what they do here for Elio in the late stages, hopefully, of this yellow period.
Going for the
Puts
front
the
wing.
reds on.
Now, is this a play with regards to the weather that's coming in, cooling off a little bit right now? We know it's going to be raining later. Let's get out and use our reds now until that rain hits.
That's, I believe, a case of just wanting to replace the front wing, and they've already lost a lot of track position in pitting anyway. And if it does rain, you certainly don't want to be missing a piece of that front wing. You need all the downforce that you can get.
But also go to the reds, because if we see the rain's coming, we shouldn't save these to the end. Let's use them now, because we're going to have to put our rain tires on later.
We'll be going green this time around. The lights atop the pace car are out. And so Simona Di Silvestro, who is last year's Formula Atlantic champion, moving into the IZOD IndyCar Series, will lead them to the green flag. And the IZOD fastest race lap so far has been turned in by Ryan Hunter-Reay with a minute 29.9.
Well, so what that tells us, Jan, is we know he didn't have as much, he had more downforce in his car than Alex Tagliani when he was racing him, but that downforce obviously pays off through the corners here, but also when you have to have downforce to give you grip and acceleration onto these straightaways, that's a better trade-off than being trimmed out for speed at the end of the long straightaways.
There we go.
Apex Brazil restart, back to competition. Let's see how Simona handles the situation as they race down into turn one as Paul Blevin gives the drivers the green flag.
He's working that green flag too, wasn't he? Putting the power down. You see Simona, just that rear end. I'm going to put that power down.
Boy, her heart rate had to be pegged coming up there to get that green. Once she gets down through her first couple corners, she'll start to settle down. Once she realizes they're not going to gobble her up too fast. But Hunter-Reay is after it.
Yeah, and look at the gap that Simona has back to Dario. She's got breathing room. Just concentrate now on what's in front of you.
Simona is from Switzerland and has really established some great credentials in the Atlantic Series.
4 wins, 4 poles last year she had.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay is just all over the back wing of Dario.
Yeah, he's all over him like a cheap suit.
Simona now lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. Lots of actually Tagliani's an Arizona guy too as well.
So here's the run through turn 10 onto this long back straightaway. So let's size up the downforce package between Dario and Hunter-Reay. Let's see if Hunter can do something.
There's the rookie tracker. You can see that one car, Takuma Sato, is out of the race.
And sure
here
enough,
he is, Ryan Hunter-Reay, trying to get second from Dario, and does so.
So how that looked is they probably were they're very similar in their aero package, but Hunter-Reay's car is just working a lot better through the corners. But the way they kind of dragged each other on the straightaway, I would say their aero package is close.
And I was checking, I did not see any overtake assist there. So that was simply, as you said, Robbie, the speed of the cars on the straightaways and the aero load.
We do have a local yellow in turn number 1, but it will not bring out a full course caution. Now Ryan Hunter-Reay looks for the opportunity for himself to take the lead.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. There it is. Oh, look at the bounce.
But can he stop? Can he stop?
You know, we talked about the bumps when you get offline, but I didn't think we were going to hit bumps and get airborne.
And
you see that?
Send sparks everywhere.
What a good job, because when you hit those bumps and you get airborne, obviously the contact patch, the tire comes off the pavement, usually it lengthens your brake zone, but he did a great job.
And he's doing this on black sidewalls. He's on the primary Firestone Firehawks, and he's flying.
Well, you know, that reminds me of something. You know, we both read last night. He's the one guy that said yesterday, I wish we would have qualified because my car was so so good when you had the concrete section that was so slippery. He's the one guy that said, I really wanted to qualify yesterday. That's confidence with his race car.
Jack, what's the latest on the weather from the hippy-dippy weatherman?
Well, they say it's coming, and I can attest to the fact that it has gotten as dark as it has been in Sao Paulo since we arrived. And the issue is right now, these cars are going to most likely have to go to rain tires. The wind is picked up. Everything, as you see, a dice for a position there between Danica Patrick and Ryan Briscoe. And remember one thing, if we have to go to rain tires, the red and black requirements go out the windows, fellas. If we go to a rain tire, you don't have to fulfill that. And that's what Di Silvestro has done. She's run the entire race on the red tires until her last pit stop. Oh, trouble.
TK gets hit by somebody.
And during all that, notice Briscoe tucked into the pits, guys, to maybe come in with tires. A lot going on real quick there.
Was it Tagliani that got into the back of?
I wasn't sure who it was.
Well, here's Briscoe.
So there's Briscoe going to the range. You notice how he had just gotten passed by Danica and was being hounded by Conway? And now it's yellow.
Wow, hometown hero. The fans are not going to like this.
And we're still local yellow. The track is green as we speak right now.
I thought it looked like it might have been a KV car, but let's first of all, just listen.
Yeah, he's going to get lifted in the air right here. Whoa! And we didn't see who that was.
Well, Tagliani was right behind him.
Well, that would be...
yes. No! Tagliani got pushed by
Weldon is...
no. Let's make sure that's Weldon or...
Sure.
I don't know. There's a couple red, white, and blue cars. Let's
Weldon
pull
was
that
running
back.
fifth, so I think it was.
Okay. We still need to confirm that, I think.
So, yes and no. Yes, it was Tagliani, but he was helped.
Right. He, too, was a victim.
He was punted.
Ryan Briscoe is the first to go to rain tires. Here is the replay of the tire change. Jack kind of rolling the dice here, hoping for a wet racetrack, huh?
You know, so many times, and the rain is beginning to come, guys. Now we're starting to feel the drops. What a great call on the part of Roger Penske. When that yellow came out, that local yellow, he called his driver in. Let's go to the rain first. Everybody else is going to have to come in eventually. Believe me, we're starting to see the big raindrops. And guess what? Ryan Briscoe will just be able to matriculate his way, as they say, through the field.
Yeah, you can see it's getting pretty wet there on the backstretch.
And this is the worst part. Right when that rain first hits, you got the oil that's coming up through that brand new black tarmac. It is, I don't know how you describe how slick it really can be.
It's like on ice.
It is, and you got that big surface area of the Firestone slicks. That just exaggerates everything.
And the scary part is you don't know how wet the next corner is going to be because you haven't driven through there yet.
Exactly, and it's just coming down versus when it's just pouring rain and you've been out for a lap, you know what to expect for the most part.
Now, TK, of course, just got passed and went a lap down. He was involved in that incident, so he was in the top 5 and is still running in third on the track, but is not in that position. And look at them go into the pits.
Hunter Wright stayed out.
Simona stayed out. And let's keep track of where Briscoe's going to cycle through. We saw him peel in and take tires before anybody else, as Jack was just saying.
Waiting for Tony Kanaan. Oh, the 23 of Anna Beatrice is not going where she wants to go. Here's TK stop.
She found out how slick it was with a little bit of rain.
Well, Tony has a lot of ground to make up because of that little incident there. Justin Wilson almost colliding with his teammate, Conway.
That's not good, huh? That's not good.
What do you think about that?
Well, they didn't hit. Maybe that's the beginning of their love affair. I don't know.
Franchitti comes out, so does Scott Dixon. You can see how big those raindrops are as Dan Weldon relinquishes a spot in the top 5 to make a stop.
And look how much slower things happen out on the racetrack now. Just, I mean, we still are green. It's not we're under yellow, but just the slick nature of this racetrack now. This brand new black tarmac. It really, with the heat they have there, it must really just bring up that oil and be slicker than...
We might mention that the reason this race started so early in Brazil is because on a normal day this time of year, it rains about 4 o'clock. Well, it didn't today.
Came a little bit early.
A little bit early.
Oh, Ryan Hunter-Ray.
Missed the corner.
Remember, he didn't come into the pit, so he's still on slicks.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to come in right now. But no penalty for what he did. He just missed the braking point. He didn't overtake anybody.
Danica spins.
Same place that we just saw.
Romancini.
Mario Romancini, another graduate of the Firestone Indy Lights, and the full course caution comes out. His cars are slipping and sliding everywhere, Jack. It's a real skating rink out there.
And Bob, if you take a look at some of the camera shots as we come around the racetrack, you'll see what looks like little snowballs. There are actually areas on the racetrack where hail has begun to fall. So next thing I guess we'll have is locusts. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can almost see the size of the raindrops is too big really for normal rain, and we kind of suspected there might have been a little bit of hail.
Watch the blend line when Hunter-Ray comes out here.
Where is Briscoe? That's what I want to know.
And we have a car that has made contact with the wall.
Is that Alex Lloyd, guys?
It looks like the Boy Scout Dale Coyne entry to me.
So I was just about to say, when the rain hits, look at it, it's already puddling on that back straightaway. When the rain hits, you just have to go anywhere on the racetrack to look for grip. You got to throw out what you know of a practical racing line and just search for grip. Avoid puddles. It's crazy. It's a whole different setup to the car and everything.
Heavy rain falling on the streets of Sao Paulo in the Sao Paulo Indy 300.
The rain got heavier and heavier, forcing IndyCar to suspend proceedings and red flag the race. The cars were off the track for 40 minutes, and that delay combined with a lack of lighting meant the rest of the race would be a timed one. Some have pitted for dry tyres, some have not. We'll rejoin it at the restart with 37 minutes of the race remaining.
Here is the green flag, and we are back to competition with almost 37 minutes of racing remaining. Dario, Scott Dixon, Danica Patrick is doing okay, although she's a lap down. She's there in the mix, but she's a lap down in 16th.
When are these guys when are they gonna peel off? Those that are still on the rain tires, when are they going to start peeling off? And then where they cycle back out, that's the next thing we really want to be looking for.
Oh, Scott Dixon is wanting the lead from his teammate and is not going to be able to get it.
He just wanted to figure out where all those bumps were, so when he really wants to stick that pass there, how much is he going to launch his car up into the air?
I think they wait for a yellow, Robbie. I think if you're on rain tires, you're thinking somebody's going to hit a puddle and crash, and there's going to be a yellow, then I change. In the meantime, I just stay out.
No, I'm with you on that, but look at how quick it's drying. If I'm on range right now and just kind of seeing what's going on, I'm thinking, make the call, guys, I'm ready.
But you've made the call, so you gotta stick with it. And they gotta hang in there as long as those things will stay on the car.
Those are just little puddles there. You'd back off the gas there? Come on.
Only if they told me to save fuel.
I was trying to throw him down, Bob.
I know, and you failed.
Yeah.
I just shifted a little bit in there.
But it's dry. I mean, one section that would concern you with going.
Elio.
Elio to the inside of EJ Viso.
And he's
the pass.
And he's got good dry pavement to do that. Look at EJ's coming back at you.
There he comes.
But he's got the outside.
There you go.
Take the spot back, but watch Elio again.
No, this is a tough
side to side.
Try that.
And look at Di Silvestro back here.
Yeah, that's a tough place to break somebody inside because you're going from the concrete pavement to the black tarmac, and then just that transition is upsetting on the car.
Simona Di Silvestro and Anna Beatrice running together on the racetrack. And Anna's trying to get around.
I think she has a problem. She pulled off the racing line.
No, she was going to, was that in the pit road?
No.
No?
Had to get off the throttle there a little bit.
Yeah, he had a great run off of turn 4 there. Anna had to get out of it there with Simona. Just checked her up, and that's what happens. But just get a rhythm back now.
There's our answer. These people that are on the slicks are having no problem.
Yep.
They're just off to the races. So that was the right call. Just as Jack said, he predicts the weather and the right call on pit road.
That's what I say. If you're on range right now, it's like, guys, I'm ready. And everybody else is watching what these guys are doing on the slicks. They're like, gosh, the longer we stay out now on rain tires, waiting for that yellow to maybe happen, we're getting hammered.
Now, you can see they're close because Anna Beatrice, I believe, is still on rain tires, correct? Well,
I can't give you 100% on that.
Wait and see.
And it's really too hard for us to ID that as they're rolling through to figure that out.
Rafa Matos there in the 2 car, getting around Anna Beatrice, coming off the turn, number 11.
Let's see if she looks for pit lane. That's the yellow and blue car we're talking about, Anna Beatrice. Yeah, she's still on reins there, it looked like. So she should be staying to the right now and probably coming down pit road. Yep, there she goes.
So that was my point. Thankfully, that worked out okay. But the point was they were running about the same speed. And now as it dries, obviously, the dry tires will be a big advantage. Yeah. But at that point, they were pretty equal on lap time.
That's going to do a big flip-flop right now. That's happening in terms of speeds.
EJ Viso running in 5th spot there for KB Racing Technology in the number 8 car. Danica Patrick again is a lap down, 16th.
Had that spin that we documented into turn number 1 and knocked the nose askew. Got a new one.
Elio trying to find the opportunity to get around Viso.
So what you're trying to do while we watch this, well, we'll stay with this to see. This is the place, Robbie, you said it would be tough.
It's a tough pass right there.
Oh, look at this. Ryan Hunter-Reay takes the position.
Got it.
In the first turn. Wow,
that's good. But that comes back to confidence. He is so confident with that race car because that is a challenging, high percentage pass to pull off there.
Yep.
What you don't want to forget, as you see Castro Neves come in, is that while you see Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to weave through traffic, you have the leaders up on rain tires with no traffic ahead of them, making distance on him.
Elio Castro Neves hits pit lane. He's headed toward you, Jack.
And the most important thing that Castro Neves wants, as does Scott Dixon right now, they desperately want to get those rain tires off. The crew goes to work, and that's precisely what they're going to do. They're going to put the slicks back on and send them out and away.
Now be careful, Elio, as well as other, because the exit right here, this right here is where you can really get in trouble.
Justin Wilson goes through the big puddle, and so does Elio.
So just like eggshells, like you got an egg between your foot and the gas pedal. That's what you got to do, get through that puddle coming off pit road.
And just to mention another rule change from last year, since we saw the pit stop and Elio taking on a little bit of fuel, as Ryan Hunter-Reay now tries to get to the inside of Danica Patrick.
He got it. Power. He got it.
Yeah.
Power's got a spot.
You can't. The car cannot roll as long as the fuel refueler is in the car, right? 3 wide down the front stretch.
Oh, look out. It's going to stack
man.
up. It's going to stack up like you said.
There's a stack. Oh, easy. That's Briscoe. We're saying easy too there in the Penske car. Vitor Mira, the ABC car for Floyd chasing him. Man.
Mario Romancini at the back of that line of cars.
It even looks like Miro's close enough there to pop out on Briscoe.
Dario hits pit lane.
Which should put Ryan Hunter-Reay in the lead. Because he went for the tires earlier. Jack?
And again, Dario Franchitti also going, and he's choosing the reds. He's going to go on for the stickier tire. A good call on that part, because I don't think you're going to have to worry this is being a timed race, and that's going to be his last stop.
No, but let's check out his position, though. We just saw that was Conway. So Conway is listed as 10th.
Yeah,
so
maybe
that
11th.
Yeah,
11th.
Yeah, because there goes Justin in 12th.
Now, Franchitti's going to have no fuel issues whatsoever. He can run as hard. That's a no-brainer right there. Wow.
Look at
Ryan
this.
Hunter-Reay is thinking, I'm glad I'm not in the middle of this. This is the battle. Some of these cars are in the battle for second.
Yep. Look at this. Man.
Rafael Matos is in a fight here for second place with Penske cars right behind him.
Yeah, and that's right where that Briscoe, now he's coming right back to that area before we said there's a big stack. We said, be careful.
Oh, the
Vitor, slow down.
Mira's going to miss the corner.
Excuse me, play it through.
Now, if he doesn't advance a position, he's okay.
He's got to go back behind Danica, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Sorry.
We'll see where that sorts itself out.
If he doesn't go back far enough, though. Oh, there, he just waved him by.
Yep.
But we saw him coming in there with the head of steam, didn't we? Like, woo! Big blinking light going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Sort yourself back in. He'll be okay. But now he's holding on. Oh, he got tapped from behind.
Wow.
We're looking out of the back of Weldon's car, and that is Miro we're looking at, and he got hit from behind the car behind Miro.
Romancini.
He either stepped out or there was some, oh, look out.
No, that was a little, I think I see a little nose contact on Romancini's car there. Yeah. Look at how tight, it's like a train.
No kidding. This is good stuff.
All these guys chasing Danica right here are all on reds. Firestone reds.
Oh, yeah. Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So that was looking back out of Weldon's car, and just that you could see Vitor's car, the way it got lifted up, that wasn't just rear brake lockup, that was getting poked at.
Now they're all fired up. They're all fired up. Okay, we're going to do a double pass here.
Mira to the inside of Weldon. But Romancini also to the inside.
This shows you how hooked up Mira is, and he's getting after it. You know, he tried to pass these guys one lap ago at this point, shuffled all the way back.
Oh, that's a move for second.
By him.
That's Briscoe going into second.
Yep.
Just got by Matos.
Matos back to third. Fourth is Will Power.
You never say die. Whatever happens in the first couple laps of a race, you drive as hard as you can through the whole thing, because you never know what's going to happen and where you're going to cycle back to.
Second, third, and fourth running very close on the racetrack as we're within 26 minutes of the finish. Mario Romancini has had contact with the wall. You can see the rear of the car not tracking right. He was right up there in the thick of things, but
yeah, that's coming onto the back straightaway, turn 10, and you can see he was already high going through there, and you get into all the little tire marbles there, you're sliding.
And he's going to get it back.
Yep. He's got to make it. That's turn 3. He's got to make it through 3 and 4 before he gets to pit lane. There's turn 4, and he is going to make it, so there will be no full course caution. Jack, so what does that mean? Does Ryan Hunter-Reay still have to make a little bit of fuel here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Bob. In fact, he had hoped that a full course yellow would come. His crew just told him he's going to have to give up the lead. And Jan, I tell you, everybody's talking about needing to get 3.1 miles to the gallon, and nobody thinks they have enough on board to be able to do that. So everybody's now being a little more dicey. And remember, we don't have the adjustment, so as you guys said, the only way you can make fuel is to lift, and that's what they've told Ryan Hunter-Reay to do, even if it means losing the lead.
How difficult is that to do if you're a race driver?
Well, having to lift to save fuel with Briscoe chasing him, it definitely changes your concentration and your routine. So it also can bring on the scenario of making mistakes when you're trying to think about that.
But remember that Ryan Hunter-Reay and Ryan Briscoe pitted on the same lap. So they should be in exactly the same fuel predicament. So it's not like you've got a Ryan Briscoe that pitted 5 laps later. You've got people who started with the same level of fuel.
And what I would do if I was Hunter-Reay, I'd let Briscoe go by and just stay behind him, try and just save your fuel. Because let him set the pace. Let him set your pace, and then set him up with 2 laps to go.
You agree, Jan?
No way.
I don't either.
You never let anybody go by you when you're in the lead.
But why not let him set his pace? If this guy who we're looking at right here is so strong, don't let Briscoe push it. Get behind him, and you just play with him and let him pace it, and you try and save fuel. And then when you have to get after him with 2 laps to go, if he really needs to save fuel,
then you let him go by. Somebody makes a mistake, you have a caution, you're toast.
Yeah, you're true. I was getting consumed with the whole idea of green. I mean, he's playing for a yellow.
All right, Jack, that's how we feel. How about you?
Well, I got to tell you guys, you got to remember how long that back straightaway is. We talk about it. It's turn 1, the short chute, turn 2, and the back stretch at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As bumpy as it is, you can get a little bit of a draft. In a draft, who gets better fuel mileage, the guy in front or the guy behind? I kind of like the idea, maybe let Briscoe get ahead of me, and maybe that's a way for me to save some fuel. That's a long way going straight, fellas.
Well, I know, but
Jack's a good friend, isn't he? He's a good friend of mine. It's interesting.
To give up the lead with the race less than 18 minutes to finish, and it may happen right here.
Yeah, but we saw how confident Hunter-Reay is. I mean, I think Ryan could get him back.
Well, we'll see, because Ryan Briscoe has taken the lead.
Interesting twist here. We saw Will Power.
Oh, here comes Ryan Hunter-Reay back in turn 1.
Oh!
And he forced Ryan to...
Oh, but he shortcut.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now they both shortcut, but he made a pass and shortcut. What happened was Briscoe went to the inside of the curb. Yeah. He didn't do a full shortcut, but he went to the inside of the curb. So does race control let this go? Or when you make a pass and then you shortcut, is that considered a foul?
I think it's a foul. Because he did leave the course. Not in a big way of going around the tire barrier, but he went around the curbing. So if there was a wall...
Yeah. So in that case, race control may make him give the lead to Briscoe here, whether he wants to or not. Yeah, which would be, if you try to pass somebody and then you shortcut, yes, that should be a penalty.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
I got it. Oh, maybe I don't know, do I?
And there's the shortcut right there. He went through
they both shortcut.
Yeah. Maybe since they both shortcut, it nullifies it.
Well, I know the thing is, though, Briscoe would not have shortcut unless he was forced there.
Yeah,
he was. So he made the move, got to the inside of the curb. Now,
so warned him or said you have to switch him back?
We've been told from race control that they've warned
Meanwhile, Briscoe takes the lead again. Will Power looking for second.
So that was self-correcting.
Well, yeah, but
I want to get back to the warning doesn't mean switch back.
The warning just means, hey, watch it there.
Yeah, tap you on the wrist.
Yeah, that's like if you get pulled over and you get a warning. That's a win.
Yeah.
Briscoe with 5 overtakes left.
So after all that discussion, Briscoe's sitting out in front of Hunter-Reay.
And then Hunter-Reay will say, well, I decided that I'd let him go by because I want to save some fuel.
Guys, there's a method.
Should Andretti Autosport win, and really its first time out, as far as series victories is concerned, they would tie Team Penske. We are a long way from the finish.
I like the idea of being Hunter Ray right now, and he paces himself off of Briscoe. And he doesn't have to worry about Briscoe being behind him. I guess he's got to worry about Power being behind him. But he doesn't have to be worried about setting the pace. He's just going to save fuel. Right now, this is where Jack was saying, this long back straightaway, Hunter Ray can get up behind Briscoe and maybe just feather back on the throttle a little bit and conserve some fuel.
He looks to the inside again.
Now see his job. Oh! His job is to push Briscoe, A, because he wants him to make a mistake, B, because he wants him to use more fuel, and in the meantime, maybe I'll slide through in the lead. This is good stuff.
You know, at the top of the show, we said the one thing that these drivers loved about this circuit is these long straightaways. So Tony Kottman, what a great job he did in laying this out. Because the driver said, we really like that opportunity to pass. Well, when have we seen this kind of opportunity to pass fairly and not force the hand of something, to really make it a fair pass versus saying, okay, I'm either going to take him out and me out, or I'm going to make the pass and get penalized. This creates great, fair, hard wheel-to-wheel racing.
Ryan's locking him up there at times. Yeah, from the very first time I saw the layout of this course, I thought, wow, that's going to be good, because you've got these technical sections, but you've also got two very long straightaways that will allow passing.
Well, it's also worth saying, as we look at that battle for first and how tight that is that Tony Kottman, originally the design was to put a chicane in the middle of this long straightaway. He talked to the drivers, and the drivers said, you know what, in Australia when we were there, those straightaways were just a little too short, and then we hit a chicane. So he said, fine, you guys want to have the longest straightaway in IndyCar history? Great, we'll take it out. Good call.
And that's what's producing this race.
Here we go.
Nice. See, now what he's doing right now, he's studying. He's going to town on Briscoe, because I'm going to lay back there, I'm going to save fuel, and I'm going to figure out what I need to set up to make that pass. And that's what Jack has always been saying is, when do you want to be leading? You know, those are the questions he's asked. Do you want to be leading on that last lap or not?
Jack, we got a great battle going on here for the top three spots.
Yeah, Bob, and we also have a great challenge to face us. As I show you the weather radar, see all this red? Right here is Sao Paulo and the race course. We are sitting atop a ticking time bomb. It's going to rain again.
Throws the fuel issue out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Briscoe's wide. Oh, he's in the tires.
Briscoe missed the corner.
That's why you want that.
Ryan Hunter Ray has the lead, and now he has enough fuel, because that's going to be a full course caution. That's why you push somebody from behind. Poor Ryan Briscoe.
So does that mean that you like the idea of Ryan Hunter Ray getting behind Briscoe?
That was a brilliant stroke of strategy, Robbie.
And Jack.
Quit bragging, Buell.
But how exciting is this street course racing to kick off the year
he
here
kept pushing him, He started locking up brakes, and whoop, 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 whoop.
Man,
Ryan's got to be thinking, I can't believe it.
And that is into turn 5. That's the other good passing zone right there.
Hang on a minute. The Ganassi team's back in it, folks, because they were back there struggling. Now all of a sudden they're back in the game.
Right. There's Ryan just missing the corner. See ya.
Just missed his braking point just a little bit. Got in too deep. I'm not going to slow it down.
Man.
Shazam, Ryan Hunter races.
And there is the reaction from Team Penske. We are getting set for a resumption of this event. And Ryan Hunter Ray is the leader of the race, with Will Power running in second spot. Matos, Mira, and Weldon are the top 5. And here they come for the restart. And Ryan Hunter Ray gets a pretty good jump on the rest of the field.
That was a fantastic drive for him off of turn number 11. Rafael Matos couldn't seem to get the power down. A nice gap there, giving a little breathing room for Will Power in second.
6 minutes to go.
Oh, he rubbed the wall.
Whoa.
That was Mira.
Dan Weldon, we're on board with him. Will he try to get to the inside of Vitor?
Well, he's got to think about it, because he saw just what happened. The same thing we did with Mira brushing that wall.
Oh, he is just all over Vitor.
And Dixon's closing in from behind Weldon.
So up front with Hunter Ray and Power, now that there's no fuel conserving for Hunter Ray, can he gap Power and it not even be a contest?
Well, that's right. Ryan Briscoe was under pressure from Ryan Hunter-Reay. Now is Ryan Hunter-Reay going to be under pressure from Will Power?
I think this is the group you want to watch right here.
But he was saving fuel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you're right. This is where...
This is the group where overtake assist is going to be pow, pow, pow. I see all kinds of green lights going up on the scoring monitor. That is overtake assist. Give me everything I got going down into turn 11.
On board with Dario.
So let's see how much he can close on that car in front of him.
Oh, that's for third. Mira takes the spot.
Vitor Mira driving for AJ Foyt Racing is up to third.
There's a little extra for the home crowd,
and that's the Brazilian leader in the clubhouse right now.
That's a big deal.
Well, he had a lot of time to think about it since last year's Indianapolis 500, getting back in the cockpit, becoming competitive, and he certainly is here in the first race.
You know, and I think part of the confidence from Vitor, his engineer now is Jeff Britton, the same engineer he was with in 05 when he had a very stout year, finished second at the Speedway. So don't underestimate the value of that relationship of engineer and driver and confidence.
Rafa Matos, car number 2, behind Vitor, has been warned for blocking. Only a warning at this point.
That's because there's no blocking allowed. If you make a move to keep someone behind you like they felt he may have done for Vitor Mira, that's a no-no.
But when it's in your home country, don't you give a little free pass? That's like you got one in your pocket. I can use that because this is my home country.
Like I said, a warning is still a win.
Dan Weldon with a good ride for Panther Racing is in 5th.
You can see right there, you just saw Matos as they went on to the back straightaway. He just tilted his head
this is for the lead. This is for the lead, folks.
Oh, Will Power will look to the inside of Hunter-Reay and try to get the lead, and he will. But now let's watch Ryan try to come back. Nope, couldn't do it. Will Power takes the lead.
But that plays right into the question that Jack asked. Where do you want to be going into that last lap? Because that was a perfect slipstream pass that Power pulled off as you go into turn 11.
I want to be in the lead. I'm not going to change my strategy. I want to be in the lead, baby.
A little more than 3 minutes to go. So probably one more lap after this one.
So what Hunter-Reay wants to do is stay close enough here to Power to set him up and see if he could do the same thing back to him as they go to turn 11 from 10. He wants to be close enough to figure out, okay, can I do that back to him and get it done? And if so, wait till you see the white flag and then make the move.
Both Target Chip Ganassi cars are running together on the racetrack. They are in 6th and 7th.
Conway all over the back of Franchitti, like that.
This group right here just looks like something's gonna pop.
Wow. That's a pretty easy over-under on that.
Monho's trying to hold off Dan Weldon, the National Guard car. Good run for Mike Conway today. And now here is Dixon trying to get the position from Weldon.
And he wasn't close enough. He was just popping out to really tease him. He wasn't close enough to make that a good clean pass, but obviously just wants to make Weldon know that I'm coming.
Only 2 races last year did not have at least one Ganassi car in the top 5. The Indianapolis 500 when they finished 6th and 7th, and Kentucky where they also finished 6th and 7th. Right now, as I said, 6th and 7th here at Sao Paulo.
We talk about Vitor Mira. He was not on a road course until the Barber test, which was a couple weeks prior to this event.
Oh, Franchitti!
Locking him up.
He was like, oh, I can't stop it. If I don't, I'm going to hit Dixon.
Yeah, not a good scenario. But how about that for Vitor? I mean, he hasn't been in a road course until 2 weeks ago at Barber after that incident that we showed that he had at the Speedway. Pretty remarkable effort and resiliency and just of these drivers of how bad they want to be back at doing their their job that they love. Who's got the run to do something?
If anyone. The white flag will come out this time by. There's a white flag.
And that's Hunter Ray.
There's the leader, Will Power. And he has pulled out a comfortable lead on Ryan Hunter-Ray.
Yep, Hunter-Ray, he can't get that done now.
So, Robbie, what you're saying, this is the comeback story. You got Will Power, who's coming back from that back injury. You just started talking about Vitor Mira, who's going to hopefully hit the podium here running in third. Wow, what a great way for these guys to come back and have great runs.
It's incredible. It just shows you mentally what these athletes are all about, to go through the type of accidents they had and can't come back and not be competitive, be on the podium, in a position to be there, win the race.
Will Power just turned in the fastest lap of the race.
And he's on Firestone Blacks, guys.
Yep.
He's not even on the softer red compounds. That's flexing your muscle.
What an incredibly competitive and fun race this has been. Not so for those involved in that first turn incident, but boy, we have seen some great races. A good start to the 2010 IZOD IndyCar Series. To Will Power and the entire Team Penske crew, we say, Benfeitio, well done. They have thrown down the early gauntlet as the team to beat in 2010 by winning the Sao Paulo Indy 300. Will Power wins over Ryan Hunter-Ray and Vitor Mira.
Perfectly timed then from the Australian to take the win. It is Will Power that pulls it off in Sao Paulo from Ryan Hunter-Ray. Unlucky to finish second, or maybe lucky, depends which way you look at it. Vitor Mira in third place, good drive from him. Rafael Matos fourth. Dan Weldon, a fine drive from Dan Weldon after all those incidents early on in the race for fifth place. Scott Dixon likewise finishing in sixth. Dario Franchitti down in seventh. Mike Conway, now he's had a good week out there despite only finishing eighth in the end. Elio Castroneves ninth. Tony Kanaan 10th, Justin Wilson 11th, and EJ Vizo in 12th place. Looking down the order, Anna Beatriz ends up in 13th. Ryan Briscoe only 14th after ending up in the tyres. Danica Patrick holds off Simona Di Silvestro, who we'll be talking about a lot more as this season unfolds. Mario Ramoncini in 17th, Alex Lloyd 18th. Alex Tagliani 19th, and looking down the order to the end, Milka Duno finishing in 21st and Mario Moraes 24th. Sao Paulo then, dramatic to say the least, an awful race for most of the drivers, it's got to be said, one that I'm sure they're going home with blisters.
Yeah, I mean, you could see when we were in car or even just watching the cars going around how bumpy it was. So you've got low grip, a massive amount of bumps throwing the car around, and throw it into the mix some torrential rain as well, and not knowing which tyres to be on, and then driving around in those conditions on a track that's half wet, half dry as well. So,
well, it all started with a bit of a bang, didn't it? Let's take a look at this. I mean, you couldn't see into the first corner for the cement dust that was coming up after they ground this racetrack. But talk us through this.
I mean, yeah, it's very, very tricky because obviously you're coming off there, as you can see there. I think that was Takuma Sato there, just getting into the side of one of the other cars, and actually he then nudges Scott Dixon around, having hit, and then Castroneves, who's on his left-hand side, then drives into the left-hand front of Scott Dixon. So quite incredible, really, that Scott Dixon managed to carry on and finish seventh. But and then following that massive accident there could have actually taken Marco Andretti's head off. They're very, very fortunate not to have anyone hurt there.
Indeed, it was very fortunate indeed. Well, they sorted themselves out. Then on lap 28, Ryan Hunter-Ray got himself in a perfect position here over the bumps. I mean, this is scary stuff. It's like motocross. I don't know about motor racing.
The difficulty there is you can see Ryan Hunter-Ray has a lovely clean pass. I mean, Simona, to be fair, I mean, she's a fantastic driver, but you could see her looking. She saw him coming. She didn't really defend. He's coming down the inside. It's very, very bumpy there. And because you're not normally doing that lap after lap, you don't know where the bumps are, so you can easily lock up. So good move by Ryan.
Well, Dan Weldon, in the end, his fifth place was a great result, considering he got himself involved in these kind of shenanigans.
I mean, these cars are built like tanks, aren't they? I mean, it really is incredible. I mean, you can't imagine a Formula One car hitting another one that hard and getting away with it. And
Tagliani goes off after Dan helped him along, and
Tony Kanaan, really innocent victim there, unfortunately. And Tony was going really well. He would have featured in the top 3 or 4 for sure, I reckon, at the end.
Well, Ryan Briscoe, of course, looking like he was going to take a win today.
I feel so sorry for him, I must admit. I mean, it's difficult in these conditions. He got a little bit offline. He locked a wheel, and that just pushed him 2-3 foot further to the left than he would have liked. You can see it there. And then he's just thinking, do I go straight? Do I turn in? He knows if he goes straight, he's lost the race. So he thinks, sod it, I'll turn in. And he's just running a little bit wide of the apex and just into the damp, straight into the tyre wall. And he'll feel awful right now.
I'm sure he will. Will Power, though, won't be feeling awful, because Will Power, this was a class move for me. I mean, a difficult race day today, and he got this absolutely to perfection.
He got a massive run on Ryan Hunter-Reay and just got down the inside. And again, Ryan, he got to the point where Ryan just knew he had to give up the corner. And then the thing that Will Power did very, very well on the exit there, he didn't run wide. He held his apex speed down, got a really nice clean run out so that he didn't run wide and allow Ryan to get a really good run at him down into the next corner.
Mentions in dispatches, anything interesting?
I actually thought Mike Conway, you mentioned earlier, did very, very well to finish 8th, given the fact that he was put back with a penalty. And Dan Weldon, you mentioned as well, fantastic, and great race all around.
Well, let's hear now from the top 3. They've been talking to Jackaroot.
We're here in Victory Lane with Will Power. First Izod Victory Lane of 2010, and you're here. Tell me about the drive. Tell me more importantly about the pass, because you guys traded back and forth, you and Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Yeah, I mean, before that yellow, we were all trying to save fuel. I mean, I had a fuel number to get. Went yellow, said, full rich, go for it. And then, you know, we battled it out. It was great day for the Verizon Team Penske car. Really happy for all the guys. Today we just got out for qualifying because we had a gearbox problem, and I mean, it's just been a day where everything's been thrown at you and we come out on top.
Yeah, we talked about earlier with you when you qualified, you were lucky to get out because the car was stuck in reverse. I want to take you back to Infineon Raceway. You broke your back, you had to come back, and you had to be patient all year long because you were the relief driver for Helio Castroneves, but there was the promise of 2010. How does Will Power feel now, knowing that this is not just one win, this is the beginning of a full season with Team Penske?
Yeah, I feel great, you know. I mean, it's been tough with my recovery on the back, and you know, I just very, very grateful to be given this opportunity.
Did you ever have a doubt? Did you ever wonder?
I did. I mean, lying in that hospital bed, I really wasn't sure what was going to happen and whether I'd be well enough and if I'd be fast again, and you know, all the things that go through your head. But you know, really appreciative of Verizon coming on board and giving me a full year.
We got to check the hands, because in Victory Lane you said they wouldn't hurt. What do you think?
They're nasty. I mean, man, I was hurting. I said on the radio, my hands are so bad under yellow. But when I had the opportunity, I knew that the win was there to be had, and I went for it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That was a blast all day. I had so much fun with the adverse conditions, things changing all the time. That's what racing's about. We had good passing, but you know, we came in and we got those stickers because we knew it was going to be dry pretty soon. It reminded me a lot of when I won at Surfers Paradise. So I was pretty much in the zone there, having a good time, and the guys did awesome pit stops. Everything was flawless, except we were all weekend. We've been dead last on the straights, on the speeds. So we really hurt there, but. You know, it was so much fun. Clean racing all day. And, you know, Izod on the side of the car the first race. It's really disappointing finishing second, but I'm having a blast. It was a really good time.
And when Vitor Meira came across the stripe, you had a little radio transmission to your team. What did you tell AJ Foyt, the ABC Supply team?
Well, which they waited 10 months, and they believed in me after 4 races. So I thank not only AJ, but the whole ABC crew. I mean, it's very hard to, having the experience, it's very hard to have this happen to a driver. After a big accident, have a team waiting for him for almost a year, and then come back in big way at home like that. You know what? I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. I'm very pleased with everybody. Thank you.
That's your top 3, and no doubt about how hard they were working. The blisters on Will Power, that was serious stuff.
That was, and I mean, it took me back to the days when you see Ayrton Senna sort of taping up his hands back in the days before power steering in Formula 1, and you can just see how hard they were holding onto the steering wheel just to keep the thing in a straight line, even on the straight set, let alone in the corners. And it's the downforce they've got on the fat tyres that will be trying to rip out of their hands, and you can just see how much damage has done to his hands there.
Well, we've got 9 street and road courses this year compared with 8 ovals. That's the first time in IndyCar, not Champ Car maybe, but IndyCar. that's happened. I mean, I think they'll be pretty glad to be away from a track this difficult.
Yeah, I mean, the next one's St. Petersburg. I mean, I know it quite well as well. Obviously, a little bit bumpy in places, but it's just the odd big bump here and there. I mean, that one looked like a ploughed field. I mean, it was just incredible. So something to work on if they're going to go back there again next year.
You wonder why they allowed it in the first place. I mean, surely those bumps were clearly definable before they even started racing, you would have thought. You would think so, but sometimes maybe the actual thought of the cars on the track is one of the last things that they're thinking about ultimately when they're actually trying to put an event like that together. And I think all things told, I think it was actually probably politically and for motorsport a great event to have in terms of the location and everything else. Maybe just a little bit more tarmacking in some of the areas for next season. Indeed. Well, before we go, here's a look at where and when the remaining 16 races of the IndyCar season will be run. It's another street race next, this time from St. Petersburg in Florida, and IndyCar races for the first time at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama on April the 11th. The first oval race of the season comes from Kansas Speedway on May 1st, and then it's the big one, the Indianapolis 500 on May 30th. A busy summer on the road and street courses sees 3 races in both July and August, featuring the picturesque Watkins Glen, 2 races from Canada, and a visit to the Californian vineyards of Sonoma. The season ends with the 4 oval contests, including the annual trip to Japan and the traditional finale from Homestead, Miami in Florida on Saturday, October 2nd. And our next IndyCar action is live from Florida too, but round the streets of St. Petersburg. Here's a reminder of what happened last year.
Welcome aboard, everyone. There's the green flag, and we are underway at St. Pete. The battle toward turn number 1. Look at this, 5 wide as they head in there. Who's going to come out ahead? Oh, a nice move by Dario Franchitti. And we have the pole sitter Graham Rahal sideways in turn 1.
Dario does the move of the century and doesn't touch anyone.
Here's Danica with Stanton Barrett going around him cleanly.
Looking back at Rafa right there. There's Rafa looking down the inside.
Oh, but where's Danica's car? Because
Danica took as hard a hit as anybody. Wow. Can Justin Wilson hold off the challenge of Ryan Briscoe, Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Dario Franchitti? Here they come to turn 1, and Briscoe looks for the advantage. And he gets it.
Look at Dornbos looking down the inside of Weldon. Going to, contact.
Dornbos and Weldon.
And that was Power got in there too.
Now Ryan Briscoe wins the opening event of the 2009 season. The Honda Grand Prix of St. Petersburg.
And you can find out who will follow in Ryan Briscoe's tyre tracks by joining us in 2 weeks' time. We're live from the streets of St. Petersburg from 8:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 3. Hope you can join us for that. But for now, from Johnny, myself and the rest of the team, congratulations to Will Power. Goodbye to a tough opener in Brazil, and thanks to you for watching. Bye for now.
More sport, news, views and video highlights at skysports.com.